Today we're going to be installing the Razor Edge high doors. Start by removing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 push pins. Be sure you're using a fat, stubby Phillips so we don't strip the screws out. Next, we're going to remove 13 Phillips screws. You got one here, 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 and here. Once you've got the door pulled apart, you're going to notice 3 more Phillips screws underneath the outside of the door. Go ahead and take those off next. After you get all the screws out, the door should come apart. We're going to pull this cable out. It's already come out here. Pull this cable out and separate it from the door handle, and the inner skin will come apart. After the inner skin's apart, you're gonna be left with the outside skin. We're gonna loosen this Phillips and this Phillips here, and the outer skin and door handle should come off. After that, you should be left with the door frame, the latch assembly. Now would be a good time to get that cleaned up, and we'll begin taking the door pins out next. Next, we're going to remove the door pins, and there is a C-clip down here at the bottom underneath both door pins. It's gonna shoot off like a rocket, but that's gotta be taken out, and then we're gonna remove the door pins. So we're gonna lift out these pins, holding the door, lifting up on the door, wiggling the pins out, top and bottom, and then the door frame will come off. You can do away with these junk factory bushings. And next we're going to be adding the Brute Performance upgraded door bushing kit, which will come with your doors. So the thicker bolts in the Brute Performance kit go on the top facing down, and you can snug them up. And then don't over tighten any of these, just get them snug. There's no sense in bearing down on them, you could break them. And then the smaller ones go on the opposites, but on the doors, on the door frame side, go ahead and snug them down. And then your door will install like this, and then the supplied pins will get dropped in. And once you get those tight, we're gonna drop the pins in. So line up your door, drop your pins in. Okay, once they're lined up, door should shut good, no wiggle. Go ahead. Next, we're gonna install the C-clips. Be careful not to lose these. So you're gonna see where your door handle's been wearing. We're gonna go ahead and cut on that line with a cutoff wheel. That way the new door doesn't interfere with the latch. This is what it should look like after you get that cut off. Next, we're gonna remove the factory inner door handle. That gets reused on the new door. Just an Allen wrench. So once you've taken the driver's side inner door handle off, we're gonna locate the new door brackets. The inner handle bracket, there's 2. They are a little bit different. So for the driver's side, you want it to be fat on the back, fat on the top, and the 2 skinny sides on the bottom. And this door, so the way this assembles, you're gonna slide this in, and then this goes from the back and gets sandwiched in between the 2 brackets. And you're gonna locate your 2 1/4-inch quarter 20 bolts and assemble those, and I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get it put together. After installing those quarter 20 bolts, should look something like this, sandwiched between the 2 pieces. and we're gonna install this on the machine next. So we're going ahead and installing that bracket on the machine by installing 8 of the smaller hex head screws to mount this to the speaker holes. And then after that, go ahead and fish the factory handle wire through the grommet. Be careful not to lose that. Once you got that situated, you can pull this cable back and it'll nest right back into the factory location there. Next, we're going to install the driver lower door brackets. The one hole goes to the door frame on all of these, and then the oval shaped hole goes towards the new door skin. And these are important to know which bracket goes in which place, or the door will not line up. I'll show you them as soon as I get them put on here. So I want to be sure we have the correct orientation here. All of these should be vertical. Notice this one's vertical, vertical, and then vertical. This is how they look once they're mounted. So these are going to get inserted like this. This is for the old door handle. You got a spacer. Once you put that spacer on, you're going to see, once I get this mounted, how this standoff works. So you got those two in. You can see here how the standoffs work. They go through the factory door handles. And once we get done with that, we're going to move on to these 4 holes here. So once you get those bolts in, those 4 bolts, you're gonna go ahead and tighten them down. Be real careful with these thin, smaller screws, because the hex head, you know, if you're not careful, will strip out. Next, we're going to be installing the 4 1/4-20 screws here to the brackets that we just installed. And start by from the outside, working your way to the inside. May end up needing help from a partner to push the door in. The reason we made such an offset here is we want the door to be held real tight. So if you notice on this bracket here, there's quite a bit of a gap, but once you pull that screws in, it's gonna get that door real tight so it doesn't vibrate. Make sure everything's lined up. You may have to loosen some brackets and resituate some things, but your doors should shut like a brand new set. Tackling the passenger door is going to be pretty simple. It's exactly mirrored of the driver door. However, you're going to be missing one bracket in the back here where the fuel filler is. So we're going to disassemble the door the exact same way we did the driver. And once you get that pulled apart, we'll go from there. Okay, so once we get this far on the passenger door, we've got the inner bracket, the door handles wired back up. You've got all these tight. We're gonna start on these down here. There's 3 of them on this side, whereas 4 on the other side. So it's gonna be a little bit different, and I'll get some close-ups here for you to see the bracket placement. So this is the bracket orientation. The driver and passenger share this bracket and this bracket here. They're just mirrored of each other. But this bracket here is different. So now that we got those installed, we're ready to put the door skin on, just like we did the driver's side. So once you've got the door skin mounted using these 2 screws here and these 4 here, You want to make sure maybe somebody can help you get your door gaps right. You know, there's plenty of adjustment to make sure your doors aren't going to pinch or line up. So maybe have somebody hold it in place while you get one or two of the bottom screws tight. And that'll ensure your door stays square. After your install, you should be left with something like this. Good closing door. Some machines have been rolled over or laid on their side, or maybe the cage sprung when the cages are put on. So make sure you get your body lines, you know, pretty good so the doors open as best as they can. And that concludes the install. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or a text at 270-978-7796. Appreciate you guys.